grab your smokes. News and weather, music and jokes. See on the porch in my favorite house coat, it's the Sarah Beth Terry Show. She's a feral Christian out in the wild, the cigarette mom with a queen bee style, talking or singing about somebody you know. It's the Sarah Beth Terry, the Sarah Beth Terry, it's the Sarah Beth Terry Show. I'm Sarah Beth Terry, and you're not.
Hello, friends. It is Tuesday, August the 18th, and I have been working in the yard all evening, and I got hot, so I had to stop and take a break, drink me a Gatorade, and I thought, well, while I'm sitting down, I might as well visit with you for a second. Have I planted any of the 26 rose bushes that I attained today? Have I planted the 2 that I got yesterday for my birthday? Am I going to get it done tonight? Seriously thinking about taking off at first light in the morning and taking a load up to the farm. But that's 2.5 hours up there, 2.5 hours back. That's 5 hours on the road tomorrow. When they probably would do just fine if I set them out here in the backyard until we got back. And my husband's nodding in agreement because he's thinking they're in my Jeep and you're going to have to put gas in my Jeep. And that's another 500 miles on my Jeep. And he's right. Hello and welcome. This is what we look like on a Tuesday evening when I've been out in the yard sweating like a heifer. Tonight's Tuesday night edition. News, Appalachia, Nashville, foolishness, history, and things you can holler across the porch. The big stories, West Virginia is dealing with some serious aftermath from them storms. Flooding hits part of the state Monday, and damage assessments are underway in Harrison County. Kanawha County officials also declared a local state of emergency, and 10 schools are opening late because families and roads were affected. So, this weather's no joke. Energy in West Virginia coal are back in the national business news. NRG Energy has emerged as a potential bidder for the West Virginia coal-fired power plant involved in a bankruptcy proceeding. That's worth watching because the future of coal generation remains both an economic and a political question in this state. So, you know, you'd say keep your eye to the sky, but not in this case. Gold stumbled today as the Treasury yield climbed. December gold futures up at around $4,400 an ounce, reflecting a strange economic moment we're living in where gold costs enough that Granny's jewelry box may qualify as an IRA. So just look out for that. $4,400 an ounce. Could you imagine? Bet y'all be trading in your grills now. And internationally, the day continues to be dominated by war, political instability, and the continuing debate over American foreign policy. Just because America can don't mean that America should. Just saying, that should be our foreign policy. Porch translation, the world remains unsettled. Gold cost a fortune in West Virginia is wet. It's wet Virginia. I said that. It's West Virginia, it's wet, so now it's just wet Virginia. Moist Virginia. I don't like that at all. Not even a little bit. It's quite a bit for tonight for West Virginia. Heavy rain caused flooding in Harrison County where crews are assessing the damage. I mean, good Lord. Schools opening late and all. That don't usually happen until we get ice on the roads. Meanwhile, Governor Patrick Morrisey declared a state of emergency covering all 55 counties following the storm this weekend. So, at least he did that right. A proposed federal rollback of the roadless rule could affect national forest land in West Virginia. That's potentially significant for forest management, logging, and conservation. And it's one of those stories that could get considerably bigger around here as the time goes on. So, never know. There is a new tourism chief in the state. Morrisey has named former House Delegate Kayla Kessinger as to lead the state's tourism agency. So she served in the House from 2015 to 2022, and now she's heading up tourism. So congratulations to Kayla Kessinger. Good for you. In Fayetteville, West Virginia, the West Virginia American Water announced a $166,000 infrastructure project in Fayetteville to upgrade the local water system. So congratulations. Now you don't have to go all the way out back. You can probably just flush in the house. There's a search on the Potomac this evening. Multiple agencies have been searching the Potomac River in Hampshire County for a woman reported missing while swimming near a campground earlier. So I hope that they find her unharmed and just mostly a little wet. Good kid news. A Morgantown student was one of the 18 students selected for the Appalachian STEM Academy Bridge program in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. So that's awesome. Just 18 students countrywide that got selected for that, and a Morgantown student was one of them. So congratulations, Mazel Tov. That's the story that I would read to my kids after Crime and Politics, because sometimes you need evidence that somebody's kid is somewhere learning science instead of stealing a Kia in West Virginia. Just, aspirations. If you're over across the line in Kentucky, here's some news for you this evening. Western Kentucky University's Institute for Rural Health went before the Kentucky General Assembly today to discuss its work serving several rural communities. Rural health access remains one of the biggest long-term issues facing Kentucky and Appalachia in general. So they're working on that. Meanwhile, Lexington-based Clear Grain Company has been named one of the 10 semifinalists in the American Farm Bureau Federation's National Ag Innovation Challenge. It's according to the Lane Report this afternoon, so congratulations. And Kentucky Bourbon made news again. Maker's Mark announced its 2026 cellar-aged release, continuing the distillery's annual limited release series. So if you're still a drinker or you just collect it for the pretty wax, there is a new bottle out on shelves. Just head on down there to Loretto and tell them I sent you. Because I have the Maker's Mark tattoo, you see. It was back when I drank. Back when I drank. All right. Kentucky's weather today was considerably nicer. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s with lower humidity. Thank goodness. It felt like it was in a sauna for the last week and a half. But rain is expected to make a comeback tomorrow. So carry your umbrella and be ready for it. Kentucky status report, bourbon, agriculture, rain. We remain right on brand. That's usually what we're good for. Around Appalachia, there's an interesting and sobering Appalachian story today about how severe flooding can increase overdose risk in rural communities. Researchers and advocates point out that the disasters don't just destroy roads and homes, they can interrupt treatment, transportation, social networking, and other support systems for years afterwards. So it's not just you out of a way to get to town, it's out of a way for them to get to a meeting, so keep that in mind. In Appalachian, Ohio, the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio is accepting applications for its 2026 conservation grants, supporting projects involving natural resources and environmental stewardship. So you want to take care of the Mother Nature, they'll give you a little kickback for it. So make sure that you get on there and apply for one of those grants. And over in Athens, Ohio, one story thankfully ended well. A woman reported entering the Hocking River over the weekend was located safely after she went missing for a little bit. So thank goodness for that. Now we get to the important news. In Nashville and country music, Miranda Lambert's doing something new. Miranda Lambert will become the first artist to headline a new Nashville venue, with reports describing the upcoming chapter as more colorful, country disco flavored, and a new era for her. So far, all I've seen is they're trying to play Mama's Broken Heart on a bunch of stringed instruments. She's walking out in a pair of tight jeans, and there's a saddle that looks like a disco ball. Congratulations to Miranda. Frankly, if Miranda wants to make disco country, I'll hear her out. I mean, it's better than bro country. I said what I said. Tonight at the Opry, if you're in town and you want to go check out the Tuesday night lineup, tonight's Grand Ole Opry lineup includes Eddie Montgomery, one of my Kentucky boys that looks good, Mark Wills, Charlie McCoy, Tiger Lily Gold, Allison Russell, Devin Gilfillian, never heard of that child, but welcome to the Opry, Kenny Whitmire, who I love and follow on TikTok, and Sidewalk Prophets. So if you're in town this evening, make sure you swing on down to the Opry. You still have about 6 minutes to get in there before they start making the announcements. Alabama and the Oak Ridge boys are returning to Pennsylvania's Bryce Jordan Center. That's going to be fun. See those two together. Boppa Mau Mau. That's not a concert. That's a family reunion with some amplifiers. It's two geographic locations, Oak Ridge and Alabama. That just kind of heads up the tail end of the Appalachians. In music business, there's a personnel shakeup in radio and music data this week, as Allison Pollock has been named the president of Mediabase. While several agencies and labels announced artist signings and representation changes, that's been the biggest news in Rofax today. And here's one for anybody over 35. Columbia House is finally dying. The famous mail order music club will stop accepting new orders after September 15th. Yes, Columbia House. The place where America once acquired 12 CDs for a penny and then spent the next 17 years hiding a bill for $485. An entire generation just felt the disturbance of the force. I still owe them for like Alibis by Tracy Lawrence and Heart of Stone by Cher. Come and get it. I'll leave the keys in it. I haven't downloaded. I don't even need them anymore. Anyway, in pop culture news, the 2026 MTV VMA nominations are out. Madonna leads with 11 nominations ahead of Taylor Swift with only 9. Yeah. What can you do? That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Sorry, Gatorade break. We're also mourning 2 losses today. Besides Hayden Panettiere at 36, passed away Sunday in Greenville, North Carolina, South Carolina. Passed away over the weekend. And then today we got news. This one shakes me up even more, I think. Frank Beard has died. ZZ Top drummer, the only one that didn't have a beard but had the last name. Frank Beard has died at 77 years old. I got to meet him once when we went and watched ZZ Top at the Ryman. That's been about 15, 20 years ago. The only member of ZZ Top without a beard, and it's his last name. God rest him. I do remember going up to Billy Gibbons, and he said, did you enjoy the show? I said, you've not played yet. He said, I hope that you enjoy the show. I was like, okay. But ZZ Top. In the sports desk, a couple of NFL personnel moves are getting attention tonight. The Colts signed Keenan Allen, while the Giants are adding Najee Harris. So, congratulations, boys. In an absolute enormous sports business news, the Lakers' $12.5 billion purchase reportedly tops the U.S. record for sports team sales. $12.5 billion for a team that Magic Johnson used to play on. And Paula Abdul was a cheerleader. Did you know that? Paula Abdul was a Laker girl. Do you know who Paula Abdul is? She's that old lady that was on American Idol back in the day. I can't help it. I can't help it. Forever you go. My mom and dad had that album. Oh my God. And she was on the front like this, and it was red. It said Paula Abdul. Anyway, closer to home, the West Virginia Black Bears are playing the Mahoning Valley Scrappers tonight in the MLB Draft League action. So, dude's just giving a shit about it. There it is. On this day, on August 18th, this is a hell of a date in history, if you don't know already. In 1227, Genghis Khan died on this date. The Mongol ruler who created one of history's largest continuous empires died during a military campaign. That was in the year 1227 on this date. In 1612, Pendle witch trials began. Some of England's most notorious witch trials began in Lancaster, Assizes. So, the first witch trial, 1612. I'm dehydrated. I can tell by looking at my finger. Look at that. I'm dehydrated. In 1783, on this date, Britain sees a gigantic meteor. A spectacular fireball was observed traveling across Britain on this date in 1783. Imagine that, in 1783. No Weather Channel, no Facebook, just, Earl, get out here. It's crazy. On this date in 1920, women win the vote. 106 years ago today, the 19th Amendment was ratified, constitutionally prohibiting denial of the vote on account of sex. So, suffragettes. In 1958, Lolita was published in America. Vladimir Nabokov's, I always screw that up, Nabokov's controversial novel was released in the United States, Lolita, in 1958. In 1963, James Meredith makes history and became the first black graduate of the University of Mississippi. In 1983, Hurricane Alicia hit Texas, killing 21 people and causing more than $1 billion of damage in 1983 money. So that's 43 years ago. Imagine what that'd be now. So, the Porch Almanac this evening. We are now sitting in the dog days of late summer. August is when the garden starts telling the truth. Your tomatoes are either producing enough to feed 3 counties or dead. Mine didn't produce nothing but green tomatoes. They never got ripe. So, there is no middle ground. There's also the season for corn, tomatoes, peppers, beans, cucumbers, melons, and late summer squash across much of Appalachia. And we're entering the subtle transition where every evening starts giving tiny hints that summer isn't immortal. Not fall yet, but fall's standing out in the driveway. I can feel it. 10 things that you probably didn't know. Turkeys can fly. Wild turkeys can make short, surprisingly fast flights and commonly roost in trees. Tomatoes are botanically fruits. Culinary, everybody ignores this because nobody wants a tomato in fruit salad, but it is technically a fruit. Kentucky has more navigable miles of water than most states. Just in case you never knew that. West Virginia is the only state formed by separating from a Confederate state during the Civil War. It's also founded the same year as A1 steak sauce, so say what you will about that. The moon is moving away from Earth probably about 1.5 inches per year, is what they're saying now. It's about 1.5 inches a year. It's moving away from Earth. I can move 1.5 inches away from my husband on the couch and he wouldn't know it. Like, I'm just saying, don't worry too much about it. And chickens are descendants of theropod dinosaurs, which means that every time that a rooster chases you across the yard, somewhere deep inside his tiny little chicken brain, he's thinking, the age of man ends today. I said that today at Tractor Supply. I said, have any of y'all ever seen a chicken skeleton? And they were like, yeah. I'm like, the tail don't have bones. The hell is this big chicken that looks like a skeleton? This is just anatomically incorrect. Y'all just look stupid. Quit putting bones in chicken tails. It's not a thing. Whew. Whatever. Tonight's Porch thought. Somebody's kid from Morgantown got picked for a science academy. They're sledding in West Virginia. A woman feared missing in Ohio was found alive. People are still making records. People are still playing the Opry. And 106 years ago today, American women finally secured constitutional protection for their right to walk into a voting booth. Don't abuse it. History rarely announces itself while you're living through it, folks. Most days just feel like Tuesday. And then 20 years later, somebody writes down what happened and goes, holy crap, that happened in 2026? Pay attention to the ordinary days, folks. Sometimes the ordinary day is the history. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your Porch paper for Tuesday, August 18th, 2026. So, now you know. They did nothing. It's behind my camera, so it's not going to do anything. It's not doing anything. It's blocking the light because of where my camera is, so it doesn't really do... Nope, making it worse. Making it really bad. So, anyway... So we're getting our schedule lined up. We have the Feral Christian on Thursday night at the Seven Loaves Cafe in Greenup, Lloyd, Kentucky. So if you haven't got your tickets for that, I would, because that's in 2 days. And I'll be there live and in person, drinking in LA and telling you all about Jesus. And then we leave Friday morning to go to North Carolina because we're Saturday night at the Fix in Sapphire, North Carolina. My good friend Erica Nicole is going to be opening up that show at 6 p.m. and then I take the stage at 7. If you haven't got your tickets for that, go ahead and get them now because that seating is limited. Then coming on up, September we're going to be in Hurricane, West Virginia at Emma Ray's. Coming in October we're going to be in Perry, Florida for 2 separate events. We're going to be there for about 10 days. And then we're going to finish out October coming back home to the Huntington area and the Campton, Kentucky area, and then we're into November. So if there is a date that you would like for us to come to your neck of the woods and you get on my website and say that it's available, reach out to me or Sean. Would be glad to put you on the schedule. And if you've got a place that I can stay, play, and smoke, we will hit the road. It's literally that easy. So let me know. We also play backyards, bar mitzvahs, baptism, barbecues, and burials. Just let us know. We'll be there. My buddy accidentally played to the burial of a septic tank once. He thought, this is an awful small funeral, and I think I got the address right. He said, there's only like 5 or 6 people standing around, and they were already, covering up the hole, and I thought, well, least I could do is sing a song. And he sang a song, and everybody just kind of sat there and listened to him, and after he got done, one of the gentlemen come over, he said, well, I've never seen anybody sing at the dedication of a septic system, but you sounded pretty good. Went to the wrong place. So, I think that's funny. Did I say Branson in November? No, I didn't. Never been to Branson in my life. But I will if you want me to, so find me a place to come. You're making it really weird on my camera right now, by the way. It just looks like I'm going through the car wash. He's over there messing with the light, and it's like he's going through the car wash. Why is a car wash like a disco? It's not a riddle. It's an actual question. Why is it that they feel like they have to show you... Quit doing that. Show you everything. It's making a terrible shadow on my face. Please turn that off. Thank you. I said that a while ago, didn't I? There's too much stuff in the way. So, anywho, that's about all I know from this side of the porch this evening. My head's hurting awful bad. I'm going to have to get in there and make me something to eat, I think. And then tomorrow I'm going to work my rear end off. And I agree with Sean. I might as well just get out there and unload them roses and just put them out here in the backyard for right now. Right, Sean? Yeah. Well, there's that. So, anyway, friends, I love you, and I mean that. I'm so thankful that you're on the porch. And if you're new to the porch, we welcome you. If you're a repeat offender, we always welcome you back. Everybody's welcome on the porch, and there ain't no judgment, because I look like this sometimes, and then sometimes I'll actually brush my teeth. But how would you know? Because you can't smell it anyway. It's not smell-o-vision. It's like my buddy Richie. He watches a lot of TikTok videos about colognes, and my husband said, "Isn't that like a deaf guy listening to music? Like, what are you getting from that?" It is what it is. I think I'll have this one last cigarette with y'all, though. Might as well. That one felt a little stale. Sometimes they're stale. Who do you listen to when cleaning? Well, that would mean I have to clean. I don't clean as much as rearrange. Sean cleans. And he listens to the sound of his own vacuum. Now, I don't listen to music while I'm working, because I, as a songwriter, have to sit down, analyze it, discuss the structure, discuss the charts, figure out why that hook could have been better, why they should have nailed it to the wall, why does it need a bridge when it doesn't make any sense to the rest of the story, and then I don't get any of the dishes done. You know what I do listen to when I'm cleaning? Big Bang Theory, The Office, Friends. 22-minute episodes that gives me just enough time to focus my neurodivergent ADD ass into one room at a time and work until I hear the credits. And then I'm like, okay, next project. I never actually get anything done. I just make percentage increments towards a goal. Like today, I got 5% closer to cleaning up the backyard. I will take that as a victory. I was ordered the tanning bed, the Total Body Enhancement Shaker thing. Bought some groceries at Aldi. Got some new protein at GNC. Went to Tractor Supply and bought 26 rose bushes. So, it wasn't a wasted day. Just wasn't maybe as productive as one might have hoped. And I'm about 100% sure that I got a dang splinter in my finger. Yep. I do. I thought I did. And it's in my right thumb, so it's going to be even harder to get out. I have to have Sean do it. Because it hurts. He's going to have to get it out. All right, friends, it is now 10 after 8. Those were the headlines. That's what I did today. I hope that your day was productive and fun, and whatever you did it with gusto and gave it to God. Oh, thank you, April. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining the Feral Christian page. Somebody called me out today and said, "You're being kind of boastful." And I said, "I'm not boastful. I'm not doing that. I know every single person on that page, on this page, just because God intended for them to find me. It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with what I'm saying and the word I'm spreading. So all glory goes to God every single time. Because we're not starting the Church of Sarah Beth Terry anytime soon. I just figure, if I've got this many people on my porch, we might as well talk about God while we're at it, Hey, that counts as a win. I needed to put the dust ruffle on mine, and I still ain't got it out of the package from the Amazon yet. I know. Baby steps. Baby steps. So, all right, friends. From this side of the world, keep your Bibles open, your padded around your head on a swivel, because people are acting crazy. Be nice to old people, animals, and children. As always, try to love your neighbor if you can't give to God, because He loves you, and I do too. Until the next time we see each other, friends, remember, I'm Sarah Beth Terry, and you're not.